All right, I think we are ready to get started. Welcome, everybody. Tom did let us know that he won't be able to make it. I see Lori is online, so the rest of us are all here. Let's call the meeting to order, and Debbie, if you would note attendance, please. So first up, we have our agenda review, and on the agenda is pretty much just policy updates.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to add to our agenda tonight a discussion of what we might want to cover on our December 27th work session.
So moved?
Second?
Moved and seconded, okay. There's a move and a second to add a discussion item for the December work session. Any further discussion before we vote on it?
I can explain some background, so people, and Dan, please jump in too. So we had talked about, because that's kind of a tricky date, you know, it's the 27th, it's 2 days after Christmas, talked about possibly canceling our meeting. We also want to keep policies going, which is what Dan had brought up. So we're just talking about some options with regard to maybe meeting remotely and at least getting the policies passed, or, you know, so what other options might work for folks for that particular meeting.
Well, I certainly support adding it to the agenda tonight. So with that in mind, unless there's further discussion, let's take the vote.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
And Owen?
Yes.
Thank you, all in
Great.
favor.
So we will add that to the end, basically. So we've amended the agenda to add an item to discuss the December work session. Is there anything else to discuss for the agenda review? Otherwise, I would accept a motion to approve the newly amended agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay. Debbie?
Jonathan?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
And Owen?
Yes.
Thank you, all in favor.
Right. Perfect. Okay, so we do have some first readings of policies. We've been doing these at our work sessions, which has worked out really well. And we have 4 of them tonight. Do we have, I don't know who all's on. Do we have our folks on?
Melissa. Daniel, we just need to promote Melissa Safer Briggs as a panelist. There she is.
All right. So, while that...
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Melissa.
Hello.
Hi, Melissa. Hi.
Okay, so we've got 4 tonight. The first one is CM, Compliance and Reporting on Standards. And it says Dawn, but I don't know who's going to be discussing it.
I think you've got just me tonight, so I will take you through it. So this was unfortunately one that you all just adopted, but we got those October updates from OSBA. So we have a few of those tonight. This one just relates to the new change is just when the report is due. The old policy said February, and they've changed it to November. So we did not make any additional changes to it, just updating the date.
Okay, so that seems fairly straightforward. I had looked at it prior. Anybody have any questions or comments? I believe, it adds the revised rule. It says adds a requirement to present orally at a board meeting. That was not our decision. That was actually part of the rule. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought probably. Anybody else have any comments or want to discuss any of this as a board?
It talks about adding public comment, but we already have a public comment time, so that doesn't really change anything for us, but it's in the policy.
Good point. Okay, well, I think sounds like there's no further questions. Melissa, thank you. Let's see, so the next one is GBEBA, and I'll let you explain. It looks like there's a, part of it's being deleted and part of it changed, but I'll let you give the update.
Yeah. So this one is just housekeeping recommendations by the Oregon Health Authority. So it's just to update, reflect current law related to HIV and AIDS and things like that. So the committee, we compared the updates with our current policy. We made a few minor language changes, but otherwise we recommend adopting this. And I will note there are 2 ARs that it's recommended that we repeal with this. So there's not a separate cover sheet for that, but it all goes together with the updates.
Right.
Yeah, and just by way of clarification, the ARs that were associated with JBEBA were written a while ago when there were a lot of concerns around public perception of HIV and AIDS, stigma, and there were all sorts of things that you needed to be sure you were careful about in terms of sharing information and all of that. And so what they've now done is basically said, you're going to treat this like anything else that is currently protected, and you're going to follow the same processes and procedures. The language in those ARs was pretty dated, and so we were pleased to say, yes, we can just do away with those now.
Okay. Any discussion from anybody on the board? Any concerns?
I just want to say I appreciate the Oxford comma addition.
That's funny.
All right. School counseling, so this is IJ.
Yes, this is another one that you guys just approved in October, and then the October updates came, and there's been a minor change because a law was passed that changed the definition of sexual orientation by removing gender identity, but then created a new definition of gender identity. So this just clears that up.
So yeah, so in short, this is just changes that allow us to match the current law, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was how I read it originally. Well, fairly straightforward stuff. Any questions or concerns from anybody? Okay. Equal educational opportunity, this is policy JB.
Yes, this one you guys just adopted over the summer, and the October update has to do with a new law that updates the definition of race for discrimination purposes, and it includes now physical characteristics that historically have been associated with race, such as natural hair and hair texture. So that, and then I think this also includes that gender identity that we talked about in the last one. So making it current law appropriate, basically. You'll see in the actual policy that footnote 2 talks about race now including the physical characteristics.
Right. Okay, any further discussion or requests for clarification on this one? I want to once again say I really appreciate the cover letters, the cover sheets, because when I go through and review these ahead of time, it gives me there's so much clarity, and I really rarely have too many questions by the time we get here, because it's really well done, so thank you.
Good.
Okay, anybody else with any questions about any of these policies? No? Okay, short and sweet. Well, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much,
Melissa.
Melissa.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right, well, that's going to take us to the discussion item on the December work session. So as Janet mentioned at the outset, it's between Christmas and New Year, not necessarily an ideal time to hold a meeting. And so, but we do have all these policy updates that we're trying to continue to shepherd through this process. And we have a couple of options. Really, I think there's, well, three. I'll say there's three. We can hold the meeting in person or virtual and continue the progress per sort of our current trajectory. We can shift these out by doubling up at a work session or a regular board meeting at some point, and basically just pick up the slack that we missed by doing a little extra homework some other month, which would really not put us any further behind, but would maybe make more policies to review during a given meeting. And then the other option is we could just simply delay the policies and basically everything shifts to the right, if you will, and we end up, a month behind or a meeting behind. I think those are the three basic options, and again, I think I'm personally flexible. I don't mind if we double down, so maybe if I was gonna say I lean somewhere, I lean toward just doubling up one meeting and taking that one off. But that's what
Yeah, I agree. I think either doubling or, if we have to shift by 2 weeks or a meeting, I don't think either one is, I think we can handle the double up, or we can decide, hey, we got too much on our plate, we can shift it. I think probably be best to do it, either one of those.
But I want to hear what staff thinks.
Well, we're at your service, so it really is the board's pleasure on that, and of course, we would like to get these policies updated as soon as possible. But we totally understand as well. So whatever the board would like to do, we're at your service.
Yeah, I think, we're moving the things through the queue. Like tonight, we only got 4 here, so we're going to keep plugging along, and the next one, it might be 8, might be 12. And as we do the policy or the agenda setting, if during that conversation we see we have a full agenda and Jonathan, Jennifer, kind of say, let's keep it to 8 because we've got a lot of other business on there, that's what we'll do. So we really could go either way, whether we double up in January and cancel the work session is fine by us too.
I think we also have to think about Dixon and Dawn and Melissa as well. I'd be in favor probably of, not a strong preference, but probably of doubling up or maybe, just pushing it down. Should have doubled up tonight.
Yeah. Well, we took the ones that were available.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out if there was a way that I could hack the system here. As a new member of the committee, I'm probably not the best person to be trying to do this, but to try to anticipate kind of how many we might have in our next batch. But I think I'm not going to, at the risk of just completely messing that up, I'm not going to take a stab at it. Do you have a sense, Dan, at all?
Yeah, I'm looking at that document right now. So we've got we've got 2 that were nearly ready to go. There was just a couple of fine tune things there. Let me see, 2, 4 were pretty close. Another 3. I mean, the next one we could be bringing quite a few forward. Looking at this, I mean, because we've got about 4 really 95% done. So, and then probably another 5 that we're working through. So.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of canceling, and I think the point that Owen brought up is probably the biggest one, is that I don't want to impose on people who are volunteering their time. And, yeah, I mean, it would be, I don't have strong preference, but it seems like we could probably double up and be just fine.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Our goal really is to finish by the end of this school year, and I think we're gonna make it, May or June, and so I don't think it'll mess with our timeline one bit. So.
And Dan, remind me, have we set the next policy work group meeting? I don't have my
I sent everybody
my
invites.
calendar with me. Might be on here, but I'm wondering if we must have a meeting before that next work session.
Debbie, do you have one on the,
Yeah, I populated. I've got my calendar.
I see one on the 17th
Okay.
of December. So,
Okay.
Debbie, do you have any others on the calendar
We
besides that?
just do one a month.
Okay, so,
And that would be it before.
that would be, yeah,
Session, yeah.
so that would be the timing of so the 17th would be the next one. So we would have a really good idea coming out of that, how many policies you would be looking at in January. So,
Mhm.
so that would give you 3 full weeks of, potentially 3 full weeks of review if we got those to you.
Okay.
Kind of like how we did the September
Mhm.
one.
Right.
Well, Lori, I haven't heard from you. Do you have any concerns with us canceling that December work session and?
Not at all.
Okay.
None at all.
When do we need to make that? I'm just wondering if there any point in postponing the decision until either, let's see, our meeting's on the 13th, our regular board meeting. Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any benefit in postponing that and waiting to see what the work group, or if we just know for now.
I think I'm getting a sense that we
Just
could just
cancel
make
it.
that
Okay.
decision right
Okay.
now.
That's fine.
But we don't have to vote on it, I mean, but I'm hearing a general
Yeah,
broad
sure.
agreement, so
Yeah,
I think we're in alignment there.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, very good. I mean, the main reason for tonight's meeting was, in fact, to keep this ball rolling, right?
Mhm.
As you all know, that was pretty much what was on the agenda, so,
Right.
and I'm happy to do that. Okay. Well, that is it for tonight, everybody. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks.
Thank you.